Hey guys, ML here. If you're looking to start a podcast, start with Buzzsprout. If you let them know we sent you through the link below, you get, when you sign up for a paid plan, you get a $20 Amazon gift card. How cool, right? You get free money for signing up to get your podcast started. So Buzzsprout gets you the show listed every major podcast platform that you need. That's Amazon, that's Google, that's Alexa, every place. You'll get a great looking podcast website, audio plays that you can drop into your own website, detailed analytics to see how people are listening, tools to promote your episode, and so much more. Join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Just wanted to let you know and share the love. Welcome to Dove and Dragon Radio. I'm your host, M.L.Ruscsak. Our show today is brought to you by Red Carpet Rocks and Kenneth J. Lane, which if you have video on, you can see the beautiful jewelry. I'm here with author, please say your name again.
No worries, Shytei Corellian.
Yeah, I'm going to butcher your name.
It's fine.
How many times I practice it? Now you're a multi-author, as in you have multiple books out. Yes. So which was the first and which is the current?
The first one was Wing and Nien. It was actually called Merehr when I first put it out, self-published. Mm-hmm. And that was probably 10 years ago. And then last October, I signed with a publisher. Awesome. And he was kind enough, because usually self-publishing is kind of the kiss of death with, traditional publishers. So he was kind enough that if I pulled everything, and we let the market clear out a little bit, then he signed me for an 8-book deal, and we will be re-releasing that book as well as the other 3 in that series, and then 4 more in the future.
Awesome. That is a wonderful deal.
That's
great. So because we love our publishers, who are you publishing with?
I am with Vizia Publishing, Visionary Fiction. So awesome. It's under the Conscious Living Media out of Arizona. Yep.
So you have 8 books under this deal. So which one are you currently writing on?
So the first 2 are done, and the first one will be re-released. It'll be released through Vizia Fiction May 11th of this year. And then the second book, we're hoping for the fall of this year. And then I'm currently working on book 3 and 4 in that series.
Awesome. Now I'm looking at your Amazon page, and you have one that's a short story, but also says an original screenplay.
Yeah. So about 5 years ago, I met a wonderful filmmaker, and we just wanted to shoot something short, something quick, something that we could afford. Mm-hmm. And so I write epic fiction, big visionary fiction. So I was like, well, what can I write that will be small enough that we can, afford to make? And so I wrote a short story. I wrote a short screenplay and short script, and we filmed that. And then we did an Indiegogo campaign. And with that money, we were able to make, so that was just a 6-minute short. And then we were able to make a 20-minute film. And we won 26 different awards around the world. Wow. And we were able to go to Hollywood with it. And it was great. So, we're currently, in the future, I also have a feature-length screenplay that I wrote off of that short that is completed, and we are currently shopping that around. And then right now I have an adapted screenplay, and we just submitted it to Impact with Ron Howard. So we'll see how that goes.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, I always crossed. Thank you.
Always love talking to other screenplay writers. So that's always
that's great.
Yeah, awesome thing.
Oh, that's great. You were a screenwriter too. That's so fun. Yeah, I love that.
I'm working with a studio that's in Dubai That's who I normally write for.
Okay. Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's so cool. It's fun. It's such a different kind of writing, isn't it? I have to switch my brain around when I go from
It
novel
is.
writing to screenplay writing. Yeah.
Right. Because when you write a book, you write in all the details. When you're writing a
Mhm.
screenplay, you're taking a book, basically gutting it. Is
Oh, yeah, and it's so hard. Oh, I've adapted two of my novels into screenplays, and it's hard. Oh my goodness, I had to go back and just chop, 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 because
Mhm.
I see, like you said, I see all those details in my mind from being the author of the novel, and it's so hard to just strip it down. It's just like, what is the basic action that needs to be seen right now? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun that you get it. Yeah, it's great.
it's a completely different beast, but it's so
Yeah,
fun. I was
yeah.
at AFM in 2019,
Uh-huh.
so that was fun. I got to
Oh,
meet a
that's
lot of
amazing.
directors and business orientated people that we're
Right.
going to need here as soon as everything is settled down with
Opens
COVID.
again. Yes, please.
That
Yeah.
is everything that we need. But at the same time, they had a AFM online last year. I'm like, if I'm going to do it online, I'll just call everyone I need anyways. Why am
Yeah,
I going to
exactly.
pay to meet everyone if I can
Right.
do it for free because I already have the contact information?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, on the bright side, it does save a lot of time and a lot of travel money for sure.
Yes, it does. But
Yeah.
we're not here to do screenplays. This is just a little transgression because
No, that's great. I love it too.
yeah, it's a different beast and I love it. And so what is the first book about? Let's go with that.
Okay, so visionary fiction, it took a long time to nail down the genre because my writing didn't seem to fit into anything.
Mhm.
And then I found visionary fiction and it was a perfect fit. So instead of um, this world that I'm currently writing in, of these four books, instead of being apocalyptic or dystopian where the world tends towards the end, towards darkness, a visionary fiction takes the world as it is, but envisions something more hopeful, something that leans into the light. And so fun finding this visionary fiction publisher, and the books are exactly that. This world is very similar to where ours is right now. Things are difficult. They're dark. They're at their worst. But these two brothers, Wing and Nien, um, come together and they find a way to rebuild a whole new world. They're the catalyst for the birth of a whole new world out of the ashes, basically, of
We
their
need books like that right now because
yeah.
this world right now that we're living in, if you take last year and this year, just the
Yeah.
2 years,
Oh my goodness.
just
Yeah.
2 years, you
Oh
have
man.
everything that could go wrong basically has gone wrong.
I know. You try not to just look around anymore because it's so scary. And, it's so strange because I wrote the first little version, 260 pages of this book when I was 16 years old, and I'm
Mhm.
now 50. Um, and it just came from a vision, a download, and I just started writing. And as I have 18 novels in the works now, and I looked at it, this was probably 5 years ago. I looked at it as a whole, and I was astonished to find that every single one of these stories is about the death of an old world and the birth of a new one. And I saw that that's the reason why I'm remembering these worlds and these people as I have been my whole life. And I had no idea when I was 16 that when this book came out, that the world would be where it's at now, and how much we need that. The worst thing often turns out to be the best thing if
Mhm.
once you get a bigger perspective
Oh, it
on it,
is.
even a spiritual perspective on it, you can see how even the worst thing still will still press into the light if you give it enough time, enough perspective. And so I'm looking at these books now and this trilogy of Wing and Nien and their world falling apart and how much they want to give up, and yet how there was that seed inside of them that would literally birth the beginning of a whole new world, of that would change their whole continent, because everything I write takes place on different worlds, but
well, of course, you can't
changes
have a
everything.
visionary concept in Earth, like to present day Earth,
Yeah.
You have to do it on a different planet, because otherwise it's just, oh, it's 2020.
Yeah, people will be like, I'm not buying it, man. But maybe if we can get them on another world, then then they're like, okay, then we can touch on the hope without worrying too much about what's happening right here. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I was talking to another visionary author who
Mhm.
does visionary fiction, and we're like,
Uh-huh.
oh, so we have Elon Musk, because
Yeah.
his was more robotics and stuff like this, but
Right,
it was
right,
rebuilding the world. So I'm like,
right.
oh, okay, let's put this in perspective. We basically are taking Elon Musk and put him on another planet and rebuilding him.
We're putting him on another world and we're like, go for it, buddy. Send a ship, send a SpaceX back to Earth for those of us that'll be left. Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's pretty funny.
It's taken what we know, what we can see in perspective, and go, okay, here's your visionary person. We all know Elon Musk as a visionary person.
Mm-hmm.
Like him or don't like him, that's personal preference, but we all know him.
Right.
And we
Absolutely.
all get the concept of being a visionary.
Mm-hmm.
Like Henry Ford with the cars, and you have these visionaries. But now we're taking it to a different planet, and you can have anything happen, and you put someone with that mindset to be, okay, we need to build X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. How do we do it?
Yeah. And and it's beautiful. And I look at it and I keep coming back to what Wing and Nien found, that they thought that it would be something external from them that would come in and fix all of this and change everything. But they both found that they were born with everything they needed inside of them. Mm-hmm. And that what they did, the smallest steps that they took, made the greatest changes down the line that they could mm-hmm. never have imagined. And that it really wasn't anything outside of them, no great power, no great force, no great person that came in and like fixed everything. That it was them, and that they had the power inside of them to do it all along. That the creation of the new world doesn't happen through anything external from ourselves. It's, what is that old saying? It's an old saying, but I just see how true it is, that the change comes from within.
To change your world by changing yourself. You have to take these small baby steps mm-hmm. to change. I say this a lot. If you're the person that complains about your life, but you sit on your couch eating potato chips from the time you get up or to the time you go to bed, you're still going to be complaining about your life 5 years from now. If you're getting up and changing something, mm-hmm. anything, start a new job, start a e-commerce business, whatever it is, in 5 years, you can look back to where you've grown.
Yeah. And sometimes I've noticed, I can get stuck in like, it doesn't feel like I've gone anywhere, done anything. And then I look at it and I'm like, oh, holy cow. Yes, I have, mm-hmm. And you can catch yourself in those old mind patterns, those old belief patterns, and then look at it and go, no, wait, I did do that, and I did do this when it was hard, and I did make this happen, and I did create this, and I did touch someone's life. I mean, whatever it is, mm-hmm. you can reframe and change the angle again on your life and see that these, the small things you've done do matter. And then that can kind of help you if you ever get stuck in a funk, to do something again, another small thing, whatever it is.
Yeah, it takes, I'm a mindset coach, so I talk about mindset all the time. I'm like, wow. Change one little thing, one thing, one thought, and then a week from now, a month from now, see where you're at.
That's beautiful. And then that sounds like the perfect thing. Yeah, because then you can help people check in with themselves, mm-hmm. and they'll be like, oh, yeah, that one thought, that one little tiny thing did make a difference. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not, you have to stay in the same thought pattern, the same, mm-hmm. whatever you're doing. You have to change one thing. You can't change something around you without changing yourself first. And we see that with visionary fiction, because then it's laid out in a fictional way and people catch themselves. Oh, I can do that.
Yeah, we can do just these little things, and it's so fun, because I will often sit back and just look. When I wrote Wing and Nien, I was just, well, they just kind of wrote themselves. I just had the initial vision. I saw Wing standing in a valley under a tree, and it was autumn, so one leaf was remaining on the tree, and it fell and it floated down, and it landed at his feet. And then I did that thing where you kind of pull back and like take in a bigger, picture in your mind. And I saw this valley, sweet, beautiful green little valley surrounded by these enormous mountains. And then I just sat down and started to write. And as soon as I started to write, the story just started to unfold. And Wing and Nien is actually Wing's adopted brother. And to get how they were brought together and then how they worked together in their world, but it was nothing like what they expected. There's people expected certain things from both of them, but inside, neither of them wanted to be that. So they're like trying to balance, who they are as people with who their people want them to be.
Right.
And how did they keep everybody happy? And, it comes back to what we were just talking about, just these small things, these little things, that Wing just wanted to be a farmer. He just wanted to work his fields. And Nien, he just wanted to be a teacher, and which was something that was not done in their small valley. And, how just these little things in them that they thought were their biggest flaws turned out to be their greatest gifts, and the things that ended up, saving their world essentially in the end. So, yeah.
Well, we see this in humanity. We try to live up to the expectations of those around us, our village, our people, our family, our friends, our teachers. We try to live up to their expectations, and we don't look inside ourselves to see what we want to do.
Yeah, and we're not taught to trust ourselves, right? I mean, really, that's the last thing anyone's going to be taught in school.
Right.
Is to trust your own internal compass, your own guidance, your own desire and passion, your own knowledge that you innately came in with. No one, teachers like you, it sounds like, are beginning to teach that, but they're never going to get that in school. They're not going to trust your intuition.
Oh, no.
They're never going to get that. They're going to be, it's conform, it's do this, do that. We've got it all laid out. Boom, boom, boom. This is what you do,
Yeah. Now you have your basic, you have to learn math, you have to learn English, you have to learn history so we don't repeat history. This is a big one. We can't ignore history. We can't change history. We must learn from it.
Yep.
And then you have to learn to look in yourselves to see where you grow. You have people that are naturally born to lead. You have people that are naturally good at math. You have people that are naturally good at farming. You have to figure out what you're naturally good at to succeed, or you're never going to be happy.
Yeah, someone, because you mentioned Elon Musk and a lot of the fear people have around AI, taking away people's jobs in the future and stuff, and that if AI takes over, then people just be lazy and they'll just, like you said, just sit at home and eat potato chips and watch TV. But I'm like, everyone I know, there may be people out there, but no one I've met is like that. If anybody is lazy or just it's because they hate their 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
If they were free to do their passion, to, like you said, be that leader or be that farmer, or, I even know people who love being a janitor because they love they love the quiet. They love the, you know what I mean? That movie, Sabrina, where she said her dad loved being a limo driver because he liked having time to read. People think that no one will want to do these jobs. And I'm like, no, if people are tend, towards be laziness or depression when they're working a job that they hate.
Mhm.
But if they are able to do that thing that they love, whatever that is, whether it's dramatic or seemingly mundane, then I don't see people,
People
being
are
lazy or
not
depressed.
naturally lazy. They are
No, they want to do the
bored.
thing that they want to do.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
bored. They don't know what they
Yep.
want to do because they're told they can't do it. How many
Mm,
times do we see
yes.
kids say, "Oh, I can't do this because so and so says I'm not good at it,"
Oh, yeah.
or
Yeah.
I can't try out for the basketball team, or can't do this. I can't."
Hmm.
Stop saying I can't. What can you do?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yep. And they'll grow so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they're told
Yeah.
that, if that is validated and given some confidence. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's when I was in school, I was a quiet, shy little thing up
Yeah.
until about a year ago. I was a quiet little
When
writer
you're now
mouth.
a podcast host.
Well, I started off with radio,
Yeah.
and
Oh, cool.
it evolved from radio to being on video because now I can't hide. I'm right here. I can't
Yeah.
hide myself
Hmm.
because what was I doing? I was enabling myself to hide. Well, I don't want to hide.
Yeah.
And by hiding, I'm shying away from what I love.
Oh,
So
yeah.
instead of doing something that I hated because I was hiding, I forced myself to go out of my comfort zone. And I get
Yeah.
to meet so many authors like yourself and talked about things because you have a vision in your book. It's fiction. We know it's fiction. But if we take some of the fictional elements and
Mhm.
apply it to today's society, is it really fiction?
Yeah. Yeah. Beautifully put. Yeah. If it touches some part of you that feels real in your experience of life, if not in your external,
Mhm.
what you see externally, then then absolutely. Yeah. Then fiction becomes real. That's beautiful. Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we had inventions based on the 1960 version of Star Trek?
Oh yeah. I mean, we're holding phones in our hands, every single one of us, that are more advanced now than their little like things, the little comms they had in the original series. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
It's incredible.
we take our fiction, we take our art, and then
Mhm.
we take life and mimic the art. Why? Because now we're putting that seed of growth in someone's head.
And it has to be. I mean, visionaries, it has to come first,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, it lays down the etheric template that the material can overlay. And without the visionaries in the world, in all walks and all paths of life, there wouldn't be that spiritual, that energetic template for the material world, the physical world, to build around. Yeah. And
Right.
and they can come a long time. I mean, how many of those people are we just now catching up with what they knew,
Yeah,
that
we
they
had,
revealed 50, 60, 70 years ago, 100 years ago. Yeah.
yeah, let's go back to Leonardo.
Yeah.
Let's go back
I was
to,
thinking about him. Yeah.
yeah, you go back to, okay, we have airplanes based on a drawing that he did how many
Isn't it,
years ago?
isn't it
You know,
incredible?
we're
It's
just
so
catching
beautiful.
up because we didn't understand their vision. We didn't have the
Right.
technology to
Hmm.
see their vision come into reality. Well, now we have all the technology we need. We just have to adapt it to be what we actually see going on.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I mean, there's 12-year-olds out there making Tesla coils now. I mean, it's incredible. It's so beautiful. Yeah, it's so amazing and fun to watch, for
I
sure.
mean, I have my daughter that does coding. She's 18.
It's
Okay.
amazing. These kids now are born, they're like human 5.0. I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
she does web page design and graphic things with coding. I'm like, okay, you just do this for mommy.
Right. That's perfect. Good. You are now building mommy's webpage. Congratulations.
Exactly. But, I'm an author. I'm going to write because that's what I receive.
Yeah.
I write fiction. I don't write the visionary. I write medieval dragons and fairies and stuff like this.
Oh, man.
But
That's beautiful.
But at the same time, my daughter writes fiction that goes from present day to 5,000 years in the future based on things that she sees. I'm like, okay.
So cool.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
But this is what we're teaching her because, okay, you have to teach her to go after her dreams. Well, what is your dream? It's not just playing Minecraft on the computer all day. You're doing that because you're bored, because you don't have a vision. Now, let me back up. She's also autistic. So I have to work with what her vision is because she doesn't see the world like we see the world. Yes.
Yeah. And that's a challenge. My guy, he had his second son is autistic, and it's definitely a challenge to try and even imagine their experience of the world. You know what I mean? We can talk about it, but that, it kind of only gets you so far. So it's
what they see, what they interpret is completely different from what we see and we interpret.
Yep.
But at the same time, are they wrong?
Yeah, no. Your perspective is literally your reality, you know? Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. So it's not that they're wrong or we're wrong. It's their perspective. So it is their reality. And they're teaching us their vision because these are the kids that are going to be the visionaries because they're the ones that are skilled beyond our normal kids.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, if you look at Albert Einstein, there's things to suggest as much of a visionary as he was, he was autistic. Well, okay. So how many other visionaries are or were autistic and was it diagnosed?
Right.
Right. So, I mean, so we take their little brains and we put it into a blender, basically, not literally, but,
Yeah. Yep.
And we see where they take us because those are our leaders. Those are the ones that will change the world. Those are the ones that will plant the seeds to take us to living on Mars or living on another planet or exploring another galaxy. Those are the ones that are going to help us reach utopia because they are seeing what is wrong with what is around us.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not much into, putting sayings or anything on my fridge, but the one I did have on there once upon a time was from Einstein of you can't create something new out of the same old thinking or, however that went. And so any of these kids that are seeing the world in a way that we are not, well, thank goodness, because look where we're currently at. We need a new perspective. We need a lot of new perspectives and, a whole new vision or a lot of them to take us into somewhere that is not repeating the history that we just keep regrinding over and over and over here. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, there's so many people out there. It's so many books, visionary fiction, self-help, everything that says we need to change. Yeah. So we put it into a visionary fiction. Yeah. So now we're saying, okay, here's a template that you can use to change the world around you.
Yeah. No, they're all beautiful pointers, aren't they? And little indicators, along the path of this is what we can do. You know what I mean?
And you do that so well in your series because you have a teacher that isn't a teacher at the beginning. He wants to be a teacher, but you don't have teachers. Well, we need teachers to be leaders.
Yeah. And it's so funny because they wanted Wing to be the leader because he fit the prophecy in the ancient writings that they cling to so tightly. And yet here's Nien, and he is a warrior and a scholar and a teacher. And they're like, nah, but you're not the one we want. And he's just like, oh, man. So
work that way. We
yeah,
have to. I mean,
yeah,
our characters, when we write them, tell us
yeah.
what they want to do.
Oh, they
They get
do.
us.
Absolutely.
They
Yeah,
get us into
absolutely.
trouble because we start as authors. We have a plan. This is
Yep.
our plan. This was what we see. And then the characters go, oh no, I
No,
don't
no,
do that today.
you're wrong. We're going over here now.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah. Oh, that's so great. And I had to mention before you leave the dragons. Can you see?
Oh yeah. That is awesome.
So that's why when I saw, yeah, Dove and Dragons, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to check out her work because I I've only started to write about a dragon. I have not written about them before, but I love all of that medieval dragons, pure fantasy. Uh, just yeah, my one of my favorite things to dive into and live in. I love
Well,
it.
I take the dragon as the protector. It's not the evil destroyer that so many dragons are portrayed to be. It is actually the protector, the defender, the help that they need.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so I had as a little kid, I didn't care for dolls, didn't play with dolls. I love stuffed animals, but I had an invisible like little invisible friend. He was obviously not invisible to me, but I figured out when no one else could see him that okay, I guess we'll have to call him my invisible friend. But he was a little dragon and he was with me my whole kidhood and was there. I would play in my room for hours and hours and hours with him. And he's like, and that dragon energy has been with me my whole life. And I experience it much like you just described, you know what I mean? As a
As the protector, as the
as a
defender.
protector. Yep.
Now they can be evil. We have all the evil dragons because
Yep.
for
We have
every good thing you also have the negative.
you got everything's polarized. Yep. For
You
experience.
can have
Yep.
yang without yang, so we'll not disagreeing with you. But in my version of dragons, they're helpful creatures.
Yeah, and that's been my experience. I'm aware of the other kind, but my experience with my dragons has been nothing but incredible. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're almost out of time. So where can our listeners, our viewers, and our readers find you?
Okay, so ShyteiCorellian.com is my my webpage and for all the work with the publisher. And then I have my own site on Shytei.com and then Shytei Corellian on Instagram, Shytei Corellian author actually on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
So. Awesome. So
yep.
You're easy to find. Everything's all cross connected, which is wonderful.
Good. Yeah. Been trying to get all of the web. Yeah. All the dots connected.
We, as authors, we try to have this webbing that we make that connects our Instagram or Twitter, all these different little things, or IMDb. We try to keep everything together. It doesn't always work because we have fans or whatever that goes, oh, I like this name, so I'm going to use it. But right.
And you're like, wait a minute. Or like us, they can't spell the name, and that can present problems too. But yeah,
I can spell it, I just can't say it.
No worries, it happens a lot. Oh man.
Oh, I understand. It took me 3 years to be able to pronounce my last name, so it's okay.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
Yes, but it was a pleasure having you on the show today.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And for all of our listeners and our viewers, happy reading.
Bye.